Well, Donald Trump had two big moves on Wednesday. He went down to visit Mexico's president, Enrique Peña Nieto. He also had a big speech on immigration in Phoenix, Arizona. Now, there are lots of people saying, oh, he's going to see Nieto. He's going to be softening on immigration. Did he? Well, in the speech, he still said no more amnesty.
We will break the cycle of amnesty and illegal immigration. We will break the cycle. There will be no amnesty.
Trump also hammered hard on the issue of deporting illegal aliens who are convicted of crimes. Currently, those people are often released, as he pointed out, calling out name after name of people that were killed, maimed, raped by illegal immigrants that have been ordered deported. People like Kate Steinle, a young woman shot while out for a walk with her family in San Francisco just about a year ago. Well, did Trump's speech hit the mark? Did it do what it needed to do? And what about that visit to Mexico? Ray Hyde joins me now, longtime political observer, political journalist, and political hack at one point. Ray, your thoughts on Trump's speech and his visit to Mexico? Let's start with the visit to Mexico. What do you think he accomplished with that?
Well, basically, Donald Trump is two people, Jekyll and Hyde. There's the good, humane Donald Trump, and in Mexico, the good, caring, paternal, humane Donald Trump emerged. He said wonderful things about how he loved the Mexican people. He was with the Mexican president, and that was the love-in. It was an interesting speech from a Canadian point of view for one major reason. Previously, Donald Trump had said he would get rid of NAFTA, the North American Free Trade Agreement. But yesterday, he said he'd renegotiated. And secondly, he said he wanted to keep trade and jobs in this hemisphere, North America. So that's the good news, but that's good news for Canada if he wins. And I think it challenges Hillary, because Hillary expediently, who supported NAFTA, now says she's against it. She may have to change her tone too.
Let me ask you about that. I mean, I have heard him say we're going to scrap NAFTA and renegotiate it. He wants good trade deals, not bad trade deals, and always hammers that NAFTA is awful. But the key point has been, let's scrap NAFTA. And yesterday, his 5-point plan that he released after meeting with President Nieto was improve NAFTA, keep jobs in the hemisphere. To me, that was a bigger change in terms of tone than what we saw in the immigration speech in Phoenix hours later.
Yes, that was the good Trump, the new Trump. Basically, his advisors, and he does have new advisors, including the guy who edited Breitbart, the right-wing journal. These people seem to be trying to get him to soften his tone a bit. And in Mexico, that's what he did. And he actually put the Mexican president on the spot here, because the reaction in Mexico was very hostile to Trump. So it didn't help the Mexican president. It may have helped Trump's prospects a bit, but in Arizona, where he made his major speech, so he dominated the news cycle yesterday, first from Mexico, then from Arizona, completely wiping Hillary out, which was one of his objectives. But the Arizona speech, he sounded very hard line. He's trying to appeal to his core constituents who want a very hard line on immigration and Muslims and everything else. And then he's also trying to woo over more centrist American voters. So he's got this conundrum. You hit hard from the right, but then you have to back off a bit to go mainstream, to get independents and maybe some Democrats to support you.
It's interesting when you look at polling numbers on issues like illegal immigration, Ray, in that Americans want the border secure. And he came out yesterday saying, absolutely, build the wall, big, glorious wall, and we're going to make Mexico pay for it. It'll have above ground, underground sensors. It'll be high tech. Kept going on about the wall. That appeals to people who are already his supporters, but also to a lot of Americans who are not. And then you mentioned the softening. You look at the stats, and even an awful lot of Republicans say, all right, if you've been in the country a long time and you've got roots here, maybe a pathway to citizenship. Now, he's saying no amnesty, but he's not saying definitely no on no path to citizenship. Now he's talking about there's some good ones here, maybe they can stay, but we'll boot out the criminals.
Yes. Well, he says we'll throw them out anyway, but allow them to come back. But he put no timeline on it, Brian. He never said, I will do it by such and such a date. Previously, he said, on the first day I become president, I'll do this. He's not. He now says he has a deportation task force. Previously, he said they just deport them. So he's appointing a task force. And to me, and I covered the White House under Johnson and Nixon, so I may be qualified to say this, when the president says that, he's really going to delegate to the task force responsibility for how it's done, how quickly it's done. So as in hockey or football, he's playing for time here. He wants to appeal to both sides. But I must add, Brian, he got in one great crack at Hillary Clinton, where he said that we will deport these people and maybe we'll even deport Hillary Clinton, which is a nice cheap shot. And that's the sort of thing that distinguishes Trump from other presidential candidates. He's not afraid to act like what he actually basically is, a television star of a very popular program. He's an actor like Ronald Reagan and Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Well, you know, it's interesting he said that. He made that comment in the middle of talking about deporting people that have broken the law. And, of course, the allegation is that Hillary Clinton broke the law on her email scandal. Well, there's a new poll out from Fox News. And Fox News is interesting in how they do their polls. They don't hire one polling firm to do it. They hire two because, of course, in the United States, a lot of polling firms identify themselves as Democrat or Republican. Right. They hire one of each and make them work together on their polls. So nobody can say, well, that's a Republican poll or a Democrat poll. Right. They make both of them work together. So they've got a new poll out, and it shows that in a four-way race, when you add in Gary Johnson, the Libertarian, when you add in Jill Stein, the Green, that Trump and Clinton are essentially tied. But buried in that, Ray, is a question. Do you think the Clintons, Bill and Hillary, sold access to the State Department while Hillary Clinton was secretary? Do you think they sold influence and access to high-level donors? And even 43% of Democrats were saying, yeah. So we keep hearing about this trust issue with Hillary Clinton, and there it is. 43% of Democrats think she's selling off influence in the U.S. government to foreign donors.
And that's very dangerous for Hillary for one reason. If you double-check that, you'd find most of those Democrats are Bernie Sanders Democrats, and Bernie Sanders had huge support from people under 35. And if they decide they're going to vote Green or Libertarian or not going to vote, guess who that helps? Donald Trump. So Trump is much smarter than people think he is. A lot of his positioning is inside the Beltway stuff that is not widely understood. If Hillary cannot, and I'm sure Bernie Sanders will be dragged out late in this campaign because there's another poll today that shows Trump a few points ahead of Hillary for the first time since the conventions. If that's true, the Hillary people, who've got a lot of money and they've got some good advisors, will force Bernie Sanders to come out to find a way for him to deliver the young people who are smart, they are digitally literate, they've got to come out and vote. And these are some of the people who voted for Barack Obama to give him his significant two victories.
Yeah, well, and without them, Clinton doesn't win. Without independents, I don't think she wins. And by the way, was about 3/4 of independents also think she sold influence. Ray, great talking to you as always. We'll chat again soon.
Thank you, Brian.
Thanks for watching. Click here to never miss a Rebel update. Want even more of the Rebel? Well, click here to become a premium member.